Can you tell us a little bit about Chunks?
I'm trying to align Chunks as this kind of app which you can learn something in like 5-10 minutes.
What does your team look like today?
You're looking at it.
The life of an entrepreneur, correct?
Oh yeah.
What would you say to an aspiring entrepreneur watching this video who wants to build their first app or company?
Sure, okay. I would say...
Today we are on the Kuiper Media Show with Andy Shephard from Chunks. He is the founder. Andy, we're super excited to have you today. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I've been a software developer now for going on 15 years, predominantly in the mobile development space. I've worked for different clients, mostly in Europe, some in the US, some in Canada. Been freelancing now for about 10 years. And then now just in the past couple of years, I've started spending some time just working my own kind of personal projects. And then, yeah, that's basically been it, like specializing in iOS, moving across now to like Flutter, doing some back-end work as well. So kind of in terms of a development sense, a bit of a jack of all trades kind of guy.
That's great. Can you tell us a little bit about Chunks specifically?
Yeah, sure. So with Chunks, Chunks is what I would like to call like a micro-learning app. And the way that I'm trying to give the idea across about this app is it's something where people can just like go onto it. Say, for example, if they're commuting somewhere, they've got like 5 minutes to spare, or let's say, for example, they're waking up or even going to sleep. They want to grab that phone, just have like a bit of a time. Right now, what people tend to do is they'll go onto things like Instagram or TikTok and just kind of like do a bit of mindless scrolling and just try to find something that's going to entertain themselves. I'm trying to align Chunks as this kind of app, which is a go-to. You can learn something in like 5-10 minutes about like different moments in history, moments of like science, psychology, philosophy, across the whole kind of board really, and just do it so it's kind of like engaging content and getting them away from that kind of doom scrolling kind of practice that most people do nowadays and get them into learning something. Just they can get a nice takeaway and be like, hey, actually I did something really productive today. I learned something. Share that with my friends, with my family, and yeah, hopefully get people away from the doom scroll and more into learning stuff.
How did you come up with the name Chunks?
I think it's like in the UK we have the BBC. They had an educational platform which I think is still going, which is called Bite Size. And I was using this as a kid. I was using Bite Size, and they have different ones like Horrible Histories and everything else. And I was like, well, it's bite-sized chunks, so why not Chunks?
That's a good name.
Yeah.
You said that you were developing in Flutter. Just so the viewers know, Is there any tools in specific that you've been using?
I think around Flutter, I've just been kind of trying to work on, with state management and stuff like this, I've been trying to use Minimal. I was using Riverpod before, a bit of Minimal now. It's just kind of like, it's really lightweight, trying to work that way because the normal way of doing it would be breaking everything down into widgets, setting the state, doing this way. I think with Minimal, it's just kind of like, it's super easy to use. I'd recommend it to anyone. It just kind of like helps you redraw the widgets on a super quick basis. It's all about focusing on like the reload speeds, the rendering speeds, in general. And then with Flutter itself, I took the Flutter route just because I wanted to make the app multi-platform from day one. I've been learning, I did Objective-C years ago, I did Swift, so all the kind of iOS side of stuff I know, I'm super comfortable with it. Kotlin, a little bit. With Flutter, it's a good middleman in a sense, and it's really easy to use, it's a nice language, Dart itself as well. And also my plan is away from like mobile side of things, I want to get into desktop, web. Let's see how far it goes. Maybe even like TV, maybe even like Vision OS, and general kind of like VR stuff as well.
Wow, that would be very cool, especially if you could get it into the VR headphones.
Exactly. Yeah, right. Super immersive.
So that leads to my next question. Are these tools your biggest expenses, or is there much to fund in this app?
Right now, I would say my biggest expense would probably be some of the AI tools that I'm using. And so with the AI stuff, if you're looking at the app, There's certain things that I'm trying to use AI for. Mostly at the moment, it's just kind of like media output. So that's like image, you've got your video, you've got your audio as well, and some sound effects. Apart from this, you have a little bit of cost with the infrastructure, but it's not too much just yet. I went into this with the idea of just like bootstrapping it. And so with this, it's like a lot of the stuff is hosted on Firebase, bit of AWS, certain functions like this. And then upcoming, what's going to happen is a lot more of the budget is going to go into advertisements. But this is something that I'm still working on the plan, trying to find my footing with the app, find the kind of like a nice space where I'd like it to be. And then as soon as that's done, we'll go for it.
I'm curious. You said you've been developing for 15 years. How do you feel things have changed from the time you started till now?
Yeah, right. I mean, I think when I first started developing, especially with Objective-C, there was a lot of kind of like memory management stuff you had to really worry about. You had to initialize different kind of memory blocks, allocate them, deallocate them. Even the devices themselves, you speak about something like the original iPhones. The processing power wasn't so great. The memory, it was always kind of like there was some limitations with this. So you'd have to really think about like what you're doing with all this kind of stuff. A few years later, you had garbage collection, which would come out, which kind of like took all these troubles away from the developer. They could then focus on like really like focusing on the design of the app, the UX, the UI, the flow of everything else. A lot of the memory management would be taken away. Fast forward now about 10 years, I think now we've really hit the stride with the whole kind of AI stuff as well. I think now we're seeing a lot of potential developers come out, even senior developers, they're falling on AI a lot more now. It's been like a great help for my app. I would say even just kind of like having this, if you imagine it as being something like a pair programmer, you can kind of like think about different features, bounce the ideas back and forth off of AI, see what kind of, what that would come back with, get towards like building out a nice feature set, executing, making sure that all the code is clean in that sense, and just the whole flow of development, the time it takes now, it's like, it's way faster. It's a lot more streamlined.
Yeah, I imagine AI is a huge help. Continuing with AI, what AI models specifically have you been using to generate the content on the app?
Yeah, okay, sure. So I go through a little bit of a flow when I'm building out the content. So if you would take any kind of story, what I'm doing at the moment is trying to get different ideas. So for example, if we take a small story of like World War One, the beginning of World War One, I'd reach out to ChatGPT. I'd make a kind of like plan the flow, what I want to kind of see, what kind of narrative, what kind of direction I want to take this. Let this flesh it out a bit, go a bit back and forth with the story until I think it's like really engaging for the audience. Me being like the main critic in this sense, obviously. And then what I would do is go to the next step, which would be using, I'm using a combination of 11 labs and also Minimax for audio. So speech, I'm using that Minimax. I'm using 11 labs for speech to text as well to get the subtitles back in the lyric files. Using that for sound effects as well. In terms of imagery, mostly nowadays I'm using Midjourney. I'm looking into using VO3 because I think that's a really powerful tool, and this is something I want to explore a bit more and just get more video content into the app as well. And then just in general, some Claude, like Claude Sonnet. I'm using this as well. That's helped me build out a bit of the code stuff as well, a bit of the CMS. So it's all over the place, really. Yeah, really a lot of different AI tooling to explore and enjoy.
What does your team look like today?
You're looking at it. Pretty much me. I'm wearing a lot of different hats. And so, yeah, I've got the background as a developer. And so with this, I'm working across the board. I'm using AI to fall back on a little bit. So with the CMS, obviously I have to have this kind of stuff. That's the content management. Story generation, I'm using a bit of AI to build up the platform for this as well. Design, that's mostly just been me. Been taking the time to really look at different kind of platforms, how they operate, maybe competing apps, There's a website called Mobbin, which I think is actually great for different kind of stuff. Dribble as well. You can get some really good design inspiration from there. And then even Revenue Cat and Superwall for paywall stuff. They have a lot of good different templates that you can use. What else? Marketing stuff. At the moment, still early days yet, obviously. Reaching out to some of the guys that I follow on Twitter. They have a lot to say about like ASO, so App Store optimization, Apple search ads, how to kind of practice this stuff. And then reaching out to my network of friends, developers, designers, all across the board as well. What directions I should take, different kinds of like marketing aspect. Slowly now going into doing the Facebook and TikTok ads, Instagram ads. And then in terms of business, yeah, I've got the business hat on as well, trying to do some stuff with this, but yeah, early days yet. I'm just enjoying my time with the app.
The life of an entrepreneur, correct?
Oh yeah.
Are you outsourcing to anybody? Are you using any of the freelance sites, or is it just really you doing everything? And outsourcing to AI, would you say?
Pretty much I'm saying that I'm outsourcing to AI. I am looking at probably outsourcing little bits and pieces of the design aspects of things, just because to market the app, you need to make sure that the design is like really well, like on point. And so for this, you have things like Fiverr and Upwork. I used to be on those ones myself as a developer. They're great platforms to use to fall back on. Some great people on there offering like really, really nice designs and everything else. Really, it's endless what you can get on there. And so I want to reach out to a couple of designers on there, get some ideas for the landing pages, and then really bring that conversion rate up of the app. And then as soon as I've got this, probably look into doing some kind of like influencer marketing, different ideas for TikTok ads, and then just go with that. Maybe in the future, I would look to bring someone else on, but I have to see first. I'm a bit kind of hesitant to do that right now. But yeah, it depends on how the app grows. If it's going to grow fast, like I would like it to, then for sure I'd have the conversation with a few people later down the line.
Yeah. Being a solo entrepreneur, you have a lot on your plate. What would you say was your biggest challenge?
I think a lot of it is just getting going. I think a lot of people just have this kind of fear of just thinking like this is really going to be a massive undertaking. A lot of things to do. You have to show up every single day. You have to have conversation. You have to put yourself into potentially uncomfortable positions. But it's just that I think if anything else, you have to have fun with it. You just have to kind of enjoy what you're doing with it. I would suggest that even as a solo entrepreneur, don't jump in straight away without any kind of like safety net or something like this. I think it's good to keep your day-to-day job, keep your part-time job, do something like this just to have the money coming in. I already know that with this, I've had past experiences with the different apps that I've developed before. It's not an overnight kind of success thing. You really have to show up every single day. And then just enjoy the ride. I would say that to most people as well, and that's what I'm doing. And just meeting many different people throughout building up a network. I think it's a great journey to be on, and I'd recommend it to a lot of different people. It's good fun.
How are you funding Chunks?
So right now, just self-funded. Just being a developer for like the time that I am. I have some savings. I'm just doing that right now. Like I said before, it's like I don't have too much in the way of expenses. I think the burn rate right now, it's not a massive amount, maybe like $500-600 in a month. And then it's like what my plan is like as soon as things start growing out, really trying to scale. I would really like to have it so that Chunks stands on its own feet, as it were. Bring in the profits. That's going to cover the expenses and everything else. Even if I don't pay myself a salary or anything like that, that's okay. And then if it really explodes, maybe start thinking about like bringing some investors in. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's still quite an early app in its infancy. Let's see.
So you answered my next question. I was going to ask for our listeners if you are looking for any other investors right now.
Aha, okay, sure. I'm more than happy to have the conversation. I think if the right person does come along and they can like really help me bring this to the masses, I'd love to do that. It's like, this is a passion project for me. I really believe in it. I believe that it's kind of it's a fun app to use. There's lots of different content in the app. It's you can just, yeah, as I said, you can learn something in 5 to 10 minutes, and just walk away with this feeling of be like, wow, okay, this is actually like really rewarding. And yeah, if I can be surrounded by people that believe in this and really can see the potential of it, yeah, by all means, let's have a chat.
Continuing with that, have you got any feedback from users where it encouraged you to keep working on this?
Yeah, I mean, when I first started working on this, I had the idea. I was chatting with a couple of friends, and basically, I was one of these kind of guys as well, where just before I went to bed, I would just grab my phone, I'd go through my emails or something first, then I'd just hit up Instagram, I'd go through a few reels and everything else, and I was like, well, I've just kind of wasted half an hour there. And so I thought, okay, well, why not try to make something a bit like this? But then you can just scroll through it, but you can learn something. You can have a nice takeaway from it, a good conversation pipe for the next time you're going to meet up with someone and be like, oh, hey, did you know this? And so I spoke with a couple of friends. They loved the idea. They also thought it was like pretty cool. They said my kids would love this as well. It's like I always see them as well. They're just kind of like doom scrolling. If I can tear them away from that phone, just from that kind of stuff, and put them onto something else which is a bit more engaging, they didn't really enjoy the books as such. They didn't feel that was too engaging either. They're kind of this like they enjoy video games and everything else. So why not bring this kind of stuff on? And so yeah, I got good feedback from those. I spent the past year pretty much working on this app, polishing it, and now released it a couple of months ago. And just through the demos that I had with some guys there, I showed them the MVP. I was like, so what do you think? And they were like, yeah, this is great. And I was being with them. I was like, you need to be honest. It's like, if you think this app is just like really not worth it, let me know now. I can take the criticism. And I think most people that I've spoken to, like the overwhelming majority, like 99% of people, they said they love it. They said that it has a lot of potential. They've been showing it to their kids, having a great time. They'd obviously like to see more content in the app, which is something I'm working on a daily basis. But yeah, when I hear this, it's really rewarding, and it just makes me just want to continue with it.
How many users do you have right now, and are you generating any ARR?
Yeah, sure. So I think right now it's probably about 200-ish users. And then these are guys that I found, some through Reddit. I started off with Reddit, some family, friends, and then like organic growth. I probably picked up another 100 or so. I have some mechanism inside the app as well where these guys can send me feedback, and so I'm getting good feedback there. In terms of money, I would like to say more than it is right now. I would probably say a couple of $100 a month, which is still quite nice. It's still validating and it's still early days, so I'm excited for it. So yeah, what's that? 2,500 or so.
All right. Let's continue with monetization a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What does your paywall look like? What's the subscription package, if it is a subscription?
Yeah, sure. This is something I was playing around with. So I think a lot of ways that indie developers now, what they try to do is, as soon as you get into the app, they're going to show you the onboarding. Naturally, you're going to explain how the app kind of works. You go through a few things. I'm doing the same. I'm trying to find out more about the user and what they'd like to see in the app, what kind of content they'd like to start viewing first. And then what I was doing initially is I put the paywall up straight away. And I had a few conversations with people and they were like, I don't really like this. It feels as if I'm being like forced to just buy this right now. And it's kind of like maybe a little bit cheeky for those guys. And I was kind of putting users off. So what I've done right now is remove this. You have the onboarding, you go through this flow, you get into the app anyway, and then you can like explore different content, everything else. And then what I've done is some stories are free. So maybe 15, 20% of the stories are for free. Other parts are premium. And then, yeah, you'll go in, and then you have the option of having a monthly, an annual pass, or you can do a lifetime. And I've just left it
Okay.
at that. I'm trying to optimize the paywall as well, just because it's like, as I said, there's loads of different ideas out there about like how you can convert users, but I'm just trying to do it in the way of like bringing the most benefit to them, put the pricing down as well, and just doing it this way, and then offering more and more and more and more compelling reasons as to why you should really hit up the full package.
Have you been experimenting with different A/B testing on the paywall?
Yeah, I think it's necessary. Yeah, I mean, I did A/B testing. You can do this with a Revenue Cat. So yeah, I've been tweaking this like pretty heavily, as much as I can, like watching all the kind of data come through on Revenue Cat and be like, oh, okay, these guys, this was like 4.5%, these guys 5.5%, so I'm doing something right. Let's go there, then switch again, and just keep on improving it. I'm trying to do this on like at the moment like small rounds, so every kind of like week or two I'll make tweaks here and there. Doing the same kind of thing with the landing page. So when you hit up the App Store or the Play Store, you have your screenshot there. I'm working on putting a video there as well to try and convert more users. And just, yeah, I definitely recommend that people think about just spending that time to A/B test stuff. The data you can get from these stores, these platforms, it's wonderful, wonderful stuff. And you should really take it seriously, because ultimately that's how you're going to get more users.
How do you get your knowledge today, like for developing and your business knowledge?
I'd say in terms of development knowledge, I try to go onto Twitter. I'm using this, or X now, on a daily basis. I think on there, my For You algorithm, it's mostly developers of varying different sizes, different experiences. So indie developers all the way up to people that are working in like corporate level. You get so frequently now like different releases of like AI tooling and everything else. So I'm using this just to kind of, and then I would just grab one of those products, experiment with it, see if it fits my needs. If it doesn't, no worries, I'll go into something else. In terms of learning different stuff as well, I was using Codecademy for a little while, just for like things that I was unfamiliar with. So a bit of back-end development, I'd use this. Nowadays for the CMS and also kind of content creation stuff, what I'm doing is I'm using Claude Code. I have that plugged into VS Code and Cursor. And then what I do is I just kind of let it build out feature, do things step by step. I would then look at the code that it's kind of generating, learn from this, make some notes. And then if there's something that I don't like, I'm going to tweak it myself, obviously, because I've got that experience to do so. And just working with it that way. And I'd recommend that other people probably do that same thing. Don't wholly rely on AI to do something, just because otherwise you can put yourself in a corner and then it's going to be a lot of work to get back out of it. In terms of the business stuff, well, that's yeah, it's an interesting one. I think right now I'm probably going into it with a bit of naivety, just thinking that it's going to be like, it's obviously not going to be like a walk in the park. I know it's going to be a bit of a long journey, but falling on mentors that I've had before, guys that I've worked with, I've been operating at like a pretty high development level. So I've had conversations with CEOs, COOs, marketing guys as well, and just asking those guys for as much advice as they can, jotting all this kind of stuff down. I've got a notebook next to me just full of different ideas for different things. And then also one thing I would recommend is ChatGPT, just bouncing ideas off of this. For the marketing plan, I was thinking about how I can best execute this stuff. Fall back on that, some nice ideas, the same with the business stuff as well. If something sounds like nonsense, I probably wouldn't use it, but otherwise it's a great tool, and it's been amazing so far.
Great advice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Earlier you talked a little bit about ASO. For our listeners, why is ASO valuable? And also, what are people searching for to find your app?
Yeah, sure, okay. I would say it is valuable. I'd say it's super valuable because it's like it's a nice, easy, and potentially free way to get more people to look at your app, to find it through the App Store, because it's you have millions of apps on the App Store anyway, and so you need to kind of get to the top of the search results. The same as if you were building a website with Google, right? The way that I've been doing this right now is I've been using a tool called Astro. There's a few other ones out there as well. And I've just been kind of a bit of A/B testing with this stuff as well. Been trying to build a kind of like a little tool using ChatGPT where I'd add my different title, my subtitles, the description stuff as well. It's ChatGPT. I do this with my competitors as well. Get the results, the rankings for each of the keywords that I enter, and just kind of on a fairly frequently basis, just update those, kind of like massage it a little bit, change the descriptions, put it back up, see what that does for me. And yeah, I'd say that's definitely a good way to approach it. Yeah, I think that would probably be about it. I think, yeah, and even for other people, it's like if they were going to be looking for my app, I positioned it to be kind of mostly just typing with the title chunks microlearning. So either chunks microlearning, learn history. This is also a good one that I tend to be ranking for now as well. And I've just been trying to boost that up further and further. I'm trying to get Wikipedia, but the thing is, it's like a lot of terminology is quite difficult to rank high for. And as I say, I'm trying to do most of the stuff organic right now. If you were starting to look into Apple Search Edge, you'd probably get a bit of a boost there. Probably recommend that. Depends. Try to look for words that are going to be fairly easy to get high ranked for. Ones that are fairly popular as well. Something around like if you're using Astro, around like the 50 mark. And then even so, if you happen to just like spend a few hours on there, if you find some keywords as well, which are like really popular and not very difficult, you might well be onto something. So that's also probably worth spending some time with.
If a developer doesn't have a huge budget for advertising, would you say it's more valuable to spend your money on Apple search ads or Meta ads?
It's hard to say. From my perspective, I've only ever really done the Apple search ads. So it's kind of a biased thing there. I would say that it's probably going to be the best one to go for, just because that's like you're going to be closest to the ecosystem in that respect as well. If people are going to be searching on the App Store for your kind of app, that's a good way of doing it. With Meta search ads, it also can work, but you also need to know what you're doing. Most of my experience just falls with the Apple search ad stuff, so I'd naturally just go for this.
And where do you see yourself in the next 12 months with Chunks?
Sure, yeah, okay. So, I mean, with Chunks itself, I've had it released now for a couple of months, been on the market for a couple of months. I'm seeing some good promise there. Some of the guys that I spoke with, they said, you need to make more content. So pretty much for these next 6 to 12 months, I'm going to be working on building out the content. I'm going from right now, what is close to 100 stories. I'm going to try and get that up to about 2,000. A lot of work ahead of me because I'm trying to do this mostly manual in terms of like creating the stories and just fleshing them out. But yeah, what I would like to do is get it onto different platforms. I want to add different kinds of content as well. So not just stories where you can go on, you have the text and the audio, everything else. I want to start thinking about having videos on there as well. So if you take something like a great battle, if you can imagine that you're going to be able to watch a video and it's going to be on horseback, you're holding a sword, you're running into battle, you've got your opponents running towards you as well, so it's like fully immersive. I want people to be able to go onto the app and experience what that could have been like. Even like going into the Colosseum as a gladiator, flying a plane. Maybe you were like one of the Wright brothers flying the first plane. Maybe you're the astronaut that's going to be taking your first steps on the moon. This kind of stuff I really want people to engage with and see it. And I think now that's becoming possible with AI video. Immersive video, that would be incredible. I would absolutely love that. And then just having conversation with more and more people, maybe trying to get this as an idea for an app or platform that kids can use to also supplement their education for schools, education systems, everything else. I want to have it so that there's going to be like an AI tool inside of the app as well. So you can even just converse with it and be like, hey, tell me an interesting story. And just position this app as something like, if you would imagine like a Netflix where you go onto it and you're not sure what to watch, this is going to be that app for education. It's going to be whatever. You can kind of come out of it with something that's going to be 5 minutes of your time, or maybe even an hour, but you're going to really feel fulfilled when you when you leave it.
I think that's really important. If you can get your users to want to learn on the app, they'll be more likely to become paying subscribers.
Yeah.
Especially if you're able to get the Vision OS working with the immersive videos, that would be very cool.
Yeah, that's the dream.
My what would you say to an aspiring entrepreneur watching this video who wants to build their first app or company?
Sure, okay. I would say, I think overall, I would say have fun. Enjoy the journey. It's not going to be something where you're going to hit like instant success. So just like, yeah, you can account for it's going to be like, I don't know, maybe like 1-2 years. Unless you hit the gold mine, then it's perfect. And I say that's amazing and congratulations, but that is what it is. If you're trying to build an app, if you're just starting out, I would say don't rely on AI too much. I think it's good to really learn the tricks of the trade, learn how to build the app, learn how an app works, how it scales, what you need to do in terms of back end as well. You need to make sure that the code is going to be like quite clean. You don't need to over engineer things, but you need to make sure that it's like a nice app and it's very responsive and reactive. Maybe later down the line start looking at AI. I would only say that because I've had friends in the past that have kind of taken the AI route and they've just kind of done this vibe coding approach to everything. And the problem with that is as soon as you hit some kind of roadblock, which naturally you will, you need to know how to get out of the situation. If you're going to keep on prompting your AI and be like, oh, okay, this isn't working. Why isn't this working? You'll go around in circles forever and you're just going to end up with headaches. So yeah, rely on that a little bit later down the line. I think plan out what it is that you're trying to make. See if it's a feasible thing. Don't try and make the 1000th habit tracker. I think now there's quite a lot of these different things, and it's like maybe use it as a small tool just to understand how app works and then just move away from it as soon as possible. Be prepared to wear many different hats unless you're going to have a co-founder or founders. Going into it now as my own co-founder, as my own co-founder being my only founder, I would say it's like there's a lot of different tasks that I'm having to handle right now. It's not an easy thing to do. It's good fun, maybe more rewarding. You're going to learn more stuff, but ultimately as well, it's going to slow me a little bit down. What else? Yeah, pretty much it. I would just say that enjoy the ride. I think that's the most important part. Reach out to peers, have a good network of people around you that can like offer advice, be humble, and you have a lot to learn, and get started. I think if anything else, if you have that idea in your head, don't just think this isn't going to work out. You never know until you try. Get out your comfort zone and just start doing it.
I think get started is really good advice. You just got to go for it.
Yeah.
Andy, something we like to do on the Kuiper Media show. So, if our listeners are out there, you definitely want to listen to the end because it's really exciting at the end where the founders and our guests normally offer something to our listeners. So I'd like to definitely ask you and give you the opportunity to be able to give something out to our listeners, and then also let our listeners know how they can find Chunk and follow you on social media.
Sure. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, what I'd like to do for the listeners is you can just email me. That's hello@chunks.app. I'm going to give you a 1-year subscription for free, just via promo code. That's for iOS and Android. Just hit me up with that. Any feedback and everything else you get from the app when you're using it, I'm all ears, good or bad advice. Happy to listen to this kind of stuff. If you want to check out the app, just go to the website, chunks.app. You can go onto the App Store as well. That's iOS and Android. The app's called Chunks Microlearning. If you want to reach out to me personally as well, I've got X, Twitter. That's Andy Shephard. And pretty much, I think it's that all across the board. Thanks so much.
Excellent. You've been an excellent guest. We greatly appreciate it. Please follow Kuiper Media on YouTube and on Instagram. And thank you so much, Andy, for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Of course.
Do you want an AI ad for your business?
Kuiper Media makes ads just like this.
Book a free call with us from the link below